Ruth Connell, thank you so much for coming on the show. You live in Los Angeles, but you've travelled all this way because you missed the Martell and Rosies so much in Falkirk.
You've done your research.
What an amazing story you've got, you know, to graft and persevere and crack on with a career. It can be quite, you need to have a lot of resilience to be an actor.
Yeah, you need blind stubbornness, I think. A bit of delusion helps. And a lot of love, actually, for what I love to do, which is to act. And the thing about LA is you can be the eternal student there. There's always a class to do there, or I trained with Larry Moss there, like one of the top coaches in the world. So the eternal student in me, you know, I like that element of it. There's always room to grow and get better.
What's been the most surreal Los Angeles experience you've had?
Standing beside George Clooney, thinking, well, he's all right. That was surreal.
He loves Scotland, right? Do you not make some small talk?
I didn't. I try and be brave. I try, but sometimes you just can't.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, I don't want to make a numpty of myself.
What are the things you do when you first get back then, just to remind you of home? Have you got a ritual?
First morning, I have a white roll and square sausage with tomato sauce.
Roll and square,
Yeah.
red sauce.
The first one, yeah, a cup of Tetley.
Supernatural really was the platform, wasn't it, for an amazing sort of rise to fame. And I think that's had 15 series.
15 seasons. I started season 10, so
Yeah.
I did 6 seasons, 6 years. And I had no idea when I started that there were these fan conventions that went along with it, and that I'd be walking along a street in Japan and somebody would be like, Rowena, like I had no idea. To this day, many of the actors from that show are some of my best friends. It really was like a travelling circus that we were involved in, and actually I met my partner.
You say that, was that a good thing?
Yeah, I met him at Comic-Con. It's so cheesy.
I think a lot of our viewers tonight will be seeking inspiration from your career, but you did come really close to sort of knocking it on the head, didn't you? So what message would you have about perseverance?
If you love what you're doing, just keep doing it. And I really got to the point where I decided it didn't matter if I was never successful. I still wanted to do it. And I think that was the weird tipping point.
There's another great story behind Dead Boy Detectives, because you really put a lot of effort into that. You know, these things don't happen overnight, because there's writing, piloting, then getting approval, then actually making it, then hoping it will be commissioned. So you've gone through that process.
I'm now in a different age category than I was when Steve Yockey first told me about the role over 5 years ago when we were working on Supernatural together. And then, I did a backdoor pilot in Doom Patrol, then a pilot, and then a show, and then with the strike we had to wait, and now finally, it's so weird it took so long, but I'm so glad it's out now.
And you get to play another formidable flame-haired Scot.
I know.
You don't have to change your accent.
No, I know. I mean, it's like a fraction different,
Yeah.
I like to say. It's like a tiny little bit different.
Where did you take it further, West Coast, or did you go further East Coast?
Further up my own bum post.
There was a terrible time, wasn't there, where the Screenwriters Guild had a strike, which must have affected you, but you timed your run pretty well to have a child. Was that?
That was all down to, that was Margaret. Everyone always said to me, you know, it's all about timing, because I tried for a long time. Yeah. And so she picked exactly the right moment. I just started to show when the strike, I couldn't have done anything anyway.
And after trying so long, how wonderful is it to be a mum?
It's amazing. Like when I heard her cry when she came out, my mind blew and my heart blew. And there really is nothing like it. And there's no child more wanted than a child that's been really, really tried for. So I'm going to get emotional.
It's a brilliant thing, it's a beautiful thing, yeah. What does the future hold then? What's happening next?
I really hope we get season 2 of Dead Boy Detectives. I really hope I get to meet Neil Gaiman. There's talk of a horror movie, maybe with the Loch Ness Monster, and there may be a Scottish woman in it, so I'd love to do that. But I'm also trying to develop a script about my grandma's life, Ruby, because she ran a football team.
She was the only female member of the
SFA?
Only,
in the Scottish Junior Football Association, and she was a speaker on behalf of them, and she ran Bonnybridge Juniors for over 30 years, and at her funeral there was lots of farmers there and lots of football men. It was like 90% men at my grandma's funeral, and flowers from Alex Ferguson, who's a dear friend of hers.
Ruth, it's so lovely to see you and to meet you and have you back on home soil, and keep flying the flag for us.
Thank you.